station. He had a beautiful Class A motorhome that he deserved to have. He worked for it. And he loved to travel in that with his wife, Judy, and then she passed a few years back, so he was alone. He said, do you know anybody that would like to go to the NASCAR races in Florida with me? I said, I do. My good friend Joe Weckerman. And him and Joe hadn't known each other that well, but they got to know each other well, and Joe went with him. I remember the first trip we had, they were over by Elma, and the front tire went flat on his motorhome, never even got out of Michigan, but they got going, and the rest is history, but he loved that sport. But I'm going to miss him because of his smile. He was so nice to everybody. You know, he really didn't get into politics, and if he didn't like somebody, he just didn't talk about him. You know, he just didn't have anything to do with them, and he'd look at you like, well, that guy's not too good, but he wouldn't say much. Wish we were all like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, farewell, Ralph. I love you. Just a piece of me that's leaving again, you know. Another one leaving. But anyway, the other one is Mindy Britton. Wow, what a lady. She, too, was very loyal to Curries. She, too, was a very good Christian. She belonged to St. Peter's Lutheran Church. Her mother and dad both passed early on when we were in high school. I can remember Tim, his senior year, I think it was, or freshman, whatever. We were way too young anyway. But Tim and Christy and Terry, they all turned out to be good people, and I'm talking about the Britton family. And Christy, gosh, when she took the vow, like the guys were saying this morning, for better or for worse, you know, her husband there, Don, has had struggled through with his health over the years, and she was right there to help him throughout the whole life's journey. And wow, what a saint she was, and she is now. She's right up there with the best of them, I guarantee you that. But, you know, I look back at her life, and even though they struggled with health problems, she didn't early on. She just had this cancer for the last couple of years, I think, and then died of a pneumonia, I believe. But she had a husband that struggled, and he would have epilepsy. Is that what it was? And she would make sure he got to his Detroit Tiger games every year, opening day. I think they went, and a couple others besides that. She made sure the whole family went to Florida every year for a couple of weeks, Santa Maria Island. She did a lot, and I think she's 67, right in there anyway, but she did do a lot. She didn't sit at home, feel sorry for herself. She got out there every day, and every Sunday her and her friends would go to the breakfast table and after church, and I would go in there, and she always had a smile, and Don did too, and Christy and Nick, and they have one other daughter that's married, lives in Florida. I'm dumb this morning, unless you can remember her name. I can't, but it's important. It's important to recognize people like this that have had a big impact in their church and their community. You know, this Facebook, there's a lot of bad things that goes on, fake news and all this and that. Yeah. But the good part about it is the beautiful words that Zana Heck, if you want to look up her post, what she said about her good friend. She said she never had a sister, and Mindy was her sister all the way through her whole life, and she was inspired by her and her faith. And said same thing could be said about Zana. They're just two of a kind right there. They're two very nice people. But anyway, keep your prayers and thoughts for.
Yeah, but you know something, Pat? I had something nice happen to me this morning. I'm drinking my coffee, and Lisa brought me some coffee. And she said, Pete, would you do me a big favor? And I said, if I can, yeah. And she said, I know, I'm getting old, and I'll probably be the passing boy. And she said, make sure you say hi to my mom and dad up in heaven. I said, absolutely.
Wow.
But, that was the first time anybody ever said anything like that.
Yeah.
And I said, you know how many billions of people are in heaven? And they got to go up there as a soul? Well, how will I recognize them? I said, do they keep all Big Rapids people, Reed City people, and Cadillac people?
Who knows?
I said, I don't know. But, I thought that was a nice thing. But, I want to say hi to my buddy, Jeannie Fribley. I just love her to death. And Ben Walworth, I missed you a couple of times, but you're such a great guy. And the FedEx boys listen to the Curry show every Tuesday when they come down this way. And they've told me, they said they missed me on there. And I said, well, you got Pat. Well, so that's really good, yeah. So I don't have much more to say, Pat, except I was going to go out to Stonehouse Vineyards the other night for a little dinner and a glass of their cider. They're closed for the next 2 weeks, which is good because they need that rest. And poor Greg, he's on the county commission. Greg Adams, he had a heart attack. And, I was shocked. Pat Bowman also had a widowmaker. I know you talked about that, but, I saw them in church. And, golly, it's scary when your friends are almost close to having a problem. And, it's really nice. And everybody be careful out there because of the rain, the freezing rain. Schools are closed today, and so you don't have to worry about that. The teachers are probably all happy, but...
they had 1 day back, and now they're day off.
And then I'd like to congratulate my son-in-law, Chris Zimmerman. He got reelected as chairman of the county commissioners, and gosh darn it, I'm so proud of the guy. And I know some people might not like him, but you don't know him. And if you know him, you'd love him just like I do. And what a great guy.
Yeah.
Well, we're depressed now. Let's just all.
I'm out of breath
I'm
now.
sure.
I'm ready to go home.
Are out there crying, turning the channel to whatever 97.78. But anyway, on the good note, there is some people having birthdays today. Ellery Daniels, Phil and Pam's daughter, my niece. She turns
Happy
a year older.
birthday.
She might be getting close to 40 years old.
Yep.
And then Levi Mayo, Jeff's son there, and Amy.
My nephew.
He's getting right up there, too. He's got to be close to 35. Anyway, happy birthday to those two. And do you know anybody else's birthday, Jeff? Your birthday?
Today, next week is my birthday. But
Happy birthday.
thank you.
How old will you be?
Well, you ready for this?
Yeah.
My grandkids get a chuckle out of. So next week I'll be 67. And
Oh, wow.
67. Have you seen this with the young kids? They take their hands, like if you can envision your palms up.
Yeah, right.
And they go up and down and they go 6, 7. There's hoodies out, T-shirts. It's just some sort of. It means
really?
nothing. It's just this thing. So
Cool.
my grandkids come, Papa, how old are you gonna be? And I'll be 67. And they go.
There is a burger place out in California, In and Out, which is legendary.
Yeah.
The one kid brought the order up, and there's like 100 kids waiting, and he goes 6, 7, and they all cheer. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, but no, I actually have. It's a crazy because the month of January, there is like. I have my son, 2 son-in-laws, 2 grandkids, all males. We have like 6 January birthdays in my family. And so on the 17th, we're having a January birthday party at our house just to celebrate everybody's January birthday. So
Well, that's good. I know you're a good family man. I didn't know if I introduced you this morning or not. Jeff Thorne from PT Plus.
formerly.
Huh?
Formerly PT Plus.
What is it?
Well, that's why I wanted to come on and talk today a little bit about.
okay.
Yeah. So Debbie and I own and ran PT Plus for.
Used to go out there all the time, and also used to rent trucks from you. But I used to work out to get my body in shape.
Yeah. For about the last 5 years, I was a Penske rental agent out there. Had a nice big parking lot and everything. But we were physical therapy and fitness center combination. We did that for years, and then September of last year. Year before last, because we're into a new year. So September of 2024, we sold our building and property to Habitat for Humanity. And so they've remodeled it and moved the resale store out there from the north end of town, and they reopened. When they did that, Deb and I, we basically dissolved our business, our physical therapy practice, and I took the fitness center side of things and moved it across town. And so I'm over on 1010 East Madison, right off 4th Street, behind if you know where the Big Rapids Recycle Center is, McCosta Recycle Center, and
Used to be the old lumber company.
the old lumber company, and Ferris was the heavy equipment building for years. So a young man out of Jenison bought that about 6 years ago and has been refurbishing it. So I'm renting space there. I moved it over last year in October and reopened as BR Fitness Center. So, so BR Fitness Center is the old PT Plus. And so, that's one of the things I wanted to, thanks for having me on, Pat. And,
that's right.
good to see you, Pete. And just to kind of because a lot
Jeff,
of people
good seeing you, buddy. Really.
A lot of people have said, so you guys are retired. How do you like retirement? And I'm like, well, no, I'm not retired. I've chosen to just think I'm in a time in life where I'm just letting God repurpose me. That's what I say. I'm being repurposed is what my next my neck's and my wife's,
No, you bring up God. That we could bring up a lot about God right now.
Yeah.
What's going on in the world today? But we'll try to focus on positive things this morning. So, why does a guy? How many years were you in business?
32 years in private practice. I've been a PT for 42 years. Physical therapist. Yeah. We moved here in 1984. My wife and I were married in the summer of '84, and that fall we moved here, and this has been our home ever since. We just are just tickled to death that this is where we.
What makes Jeff Thorne do this? I mean, why are you still doing this? You're 67 years old. Most guys retire at 52 if you're a fireman or
policeman,
whatever. And well, you've
or
had
a policeman.
Right, or
well, and again, not to sit here and go on and on about my faith and my life is very much. I like watching sports a lot, and so I love it when these athletes, the first thing out of their mouth is, "I just want to thank God and give glory to God," and I do. I want to just thank Lord for giving me the ability to do what I do and my family, and I don't see anywhere biblically that retirement is in there.
Well, I know. Do you need it though?
Do I need it?
Yeah. Do you thrive over it? I mean, like, this motivates you to get up every day, a job, or?
Yeah, it's really. I use the word.
It's people. Are you doing it to make healthy people out there? Or, I mean, you see
all of that. It's my calling. I mean, this is what I have to contribute. I'm healthy. I love what I'm doing. I'm still working in physical therapy. I was telling Pete before we went on air, I work out in Canadian Lakes 4 half days a week with a wonderful clinic named Becky Lentz. Becky's been in practice out there and has a fitness center, so she's opened the door for me to come in and work part-time, so I'm still able to treat people, help them through the struggles that they're having, but without having to own and run the whole ball of wax. So I'm not doing the billing and the scheduling and maintaining the building and Pete's cringing over here. He knows he's been in business a lot longer than I have. Yeah. And Pat, with all your businesses and stuff. So it's great because it's kind of like coming full circle to be, it's almost like I'm my first job out of college. I'm like a staff PT. I come in, I see my patients. I do my medical records, which is always ongoing, right? Everybody in healthcare. And I go home. And I go back to the gym. I'm managing the gym here in Big Rapids, and we're serving the community. That's what drives me, is I feel I have something that we can offer to serve the Big Rapids and surrounding community.
Would you recommend to a young fella today that's looking for an avenue to go down in life, getting into something like you've done for the last 30 years, or would you say it's too much corporate owned now, and you have these other fitness centers that have multi-millions of dollars to put into, and then you have that person that you thought was loyal to you in your gym, and all of a sudden he floats away because, I can get it for $10 now. I don't need Jeff Thorne anymore. That's kind of, to me, it hurts, that people are so price conscious in today's world. It's probably always been that way, but nowadays I think it's even more so because we're just...
See, I disagree with you, Pat. I think it's personalized service.
I didn't ask you. I asked
but I'm just saying. I'm just saying for you and Jeff. I've been in business for a lot of years.
Well, you forgot.
And I was just going to say, why do I go? For example, why do I go to Curries? Because of the personalized service that I get, and I think you treat all your customers like Jeff Thorne did. Because I used to work with Jeff. Yep. And I got such personalized service that you can't get from the big corporate giants that maybe you pay $10 or $15 a month. Yeah. You can't get the personalized service that you get with you.
And that's what we were committed to. Over the years, Jeff and Deb Thorne became synonymous with PT Plus. When doctors and people came to us for therapy and for rehab or for fitness, it wasn't just coming to the name on the door. It was, coming. And we've had a lot of people asking and saying, well, what are you guys, doing? And, with people coming and calling, I need some therapy. Can I come? And you're doing therapy at your gym? And I was like, well, no, but I am doing therapy, and Deb's still doing therapy. And so that was very important for us, is to treat everybody that walked in that door.
You did, too. You did,
regardless of, what their background is. I mean, sickness and illness knows no respect of person. It doesn't care their color, creed, their social. I mean, I have literally treated people, Pat, who said, I can afford to come in once a week because I have to take Dial-A-Ride, and that's all I can afford to get here. And I've had people pull up in Mercedes-Benz okay, who could have bought my building, right? And everything in between, and when it comes to helping people, that's where I feel that this is how I can extend my faith, my Christian faith, is to love and to show the love of God, through how I help them get back to doing the things that they want to do. And that's probably the main thing that drives me is to do that.
Yeah, I didn't ask what drove you, and I didn't ask you to answer his question.
But I'm giving you my opinion.
Now, can I go back to my original question, and maybe you can answer it?
If
Would
a young
you
person
suggest to a young man today and woman like yourself, we go 40 years up, would you suggest them to get into this business?
Well, it depends on what business. If you have a passion to do something in this life, and
no, I'm asking your business, not the gas station business. Hell, I want everybody to get into the gas station business, the party store. I honest to God, I tell you, these people from foreign lands are coming over, getting these gas stations and these party stores. There's a reason behind that. But anyway, I'm not going to answer that question. I want to know.
No, that's a good question. That is a good question, because you really have to look at the demographics and the size of Big Rapids. I have said, quite honestly, for years, if I were looking to start a business, run a business, just based on a fitness center alone, I would have not chose Big Rapids. Mm-hmm. I grew up in the Metro Detroit area. I was part of the first Nautilus centers in the city. I've been around Fitness USA and Vic Tanny's and all these bigger things. It was the combination of physical therapy and fitness center, that marriage between those two that complemented one another. And so I'd say it would be hard, for somebody in this day and age, when you have these corporate giants, like I call it the purple people eaters out on Perry Street, to come in, because if they don't turn a profit, they, when they invested in that building and that equipment, they didn't have to turn a profit probably for 2 years, because it was a corporate owned and supported and supplemented. So it would be a challenge to do just that. There's a couple smaller gyms. I'll throw a shout out to JD Fit. John Durante does a great job. He's very committed to what he's doing. I don't know what John's, status is here, but he used to be a trainer for us at PT Plus, and he's a great guy. He knows his stuff, but he provides personal service.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And that's what you don't get when you get these big corporate things, is that personal service. And so I would say it would be that would be a challenge. You'd really have to look at your capital outlay and what your market is. Excuse me. We have a niche here. We have a lot of middle and older age clientele that come in to our gym. There's programs called Silver Sneakers. If anybody's got Medicare Advantage plans, Priority Health and all that stuff, or a new thing called One Pass, is where that pays for their fitness center to come in, and that's a niche of people that we service. We've had people. Let me back up a step. When it was evident we were going to sell our building, we were getting a closing date, our members overwhelmingly came to me, unsolicited. I did not take a survey of them, and said, "Jeff, where are we going to go?" So we're not the purple people eater clientele. We're not the bodybuilder TNT. Jeff Tiff sold out and moved to Florida. Same year we shut. He said, "Where are we going to go? We come here for the environment and for the family-oriented, and for the people here." And I said, well, that's when I committed to saying, let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can find around town, and found this building and moved the fitness center. So, we have created and found a niche, subculture of people in this community that I feel that we are serving that other facilities or gyms aren't. But it took 30 years. Yeah. So it would be a challenge. I'll be honest. It'd be a challenge.
People said that, though. Were they coming for your physical therapy or for a gym?
For the gym.
So,
for the gym.
But you have the place down on Perry Street. They didn't want to go there? I'm just asking. I mean, they asked you where we're going to go, and you got a 7,000 square building with big lights out there, and here we are, $10
We've had people leave, and they go, and they're like, "That's just not my environment. It's not my cup of tea." Yeah. I'm not saying they're not helping people. They are.
No, I know you're not.
I know.
But that place built on its pricing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the whole story today is about that, because there's people, they'll come into town and then put a little guy out of business.
Yeah.
And then once they do, people don't realize this, but it's history, man. I mean, it's been going on for a long time, and then they'll put them out, and then they'll jack their prices up.
Yeah, well,
they're going to make
just
money.
down the road. Look at Ernie and Trent down here at State Street Hardware.
Right.
I go there because of the personal service, the knowledge that they have and have invested in the hardware business. I walk in the door and I'll pull up something, and they'll go, "Oh yeah, I know what that is. I got one of those." I barely have to explain to them.
Yeah, Justin's used to be like that too.
But I tell you what, on defensive lows, you can go in there too, and they got some pretty knowledgeable.
They do very good, very good.
I mean,
Menard, same way.
These corporates are starting to catch on to that personal service. You know, if you got the right guy. Some of those guys that work out those big box stores used to work for me, and I always tell them, I said, "Well, I taught you how to do that customer service, didn't I?" Well, it didn't hurt to go for a smaller guy, but anyway. So I mean, that competition is pretty tough, but I'm talking about pricing. You know, you're a different kind of guy because you're raised in the market of service, not so much price, because that's what you had at PT Plus. You know, you had service. I'm not going to give it to you for $10 a month. I can't feed my kids at $10 a month.
Can't pay the bills for that.
No. So you can relate to Ernie, but a lot of people can't. And so, like the place on the box store on Perry Street, when they first came in, what was it, $10 a month or something?
Yeah.
What is it today? Do you know?
15 or something like that.
So they are raising it.
Yeah, but you know, that gets you in the door. They have an initiation fee, and then they have, well, that's level 1. But if you want this, if you want to go to that side of the gym, then that costs you this. And if you want that, and I've had people come out of there and saying, well, it's about $40 a month. You know.
Okay.
You know, if you add this service and that service and everything else.
Well, that hurt Beagle Fit too. Beagle Fit was in there. A lot of the fitness centers have gone out of business. You know, TNT and Beagle.
We've been here 42 years, like I said. I've seen so many fitness centers, so many gyms that opened up. Think you can just open a building, throw some equipment in there, and people just flock to it because you have some guy, you know, that loves to work out and thinks everybody else likes to work out like they do. You know, so.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, it would be a challenge.
Yeah.
That's a good question. It would be a challenge. But.
WBZX Big Rapids.
Yeah, it's almost half over.
Wow.
Well, it is half over already.
A third.
We got to get into something to surprise the people, make them laugh. What's your favorite joke?
Well, you know, one of the first guys I met here was Jeff Stewart, who was a longtime football coach.
He was a joke.
And Stewie is, I got to know Stu very well through his ups and downs and stuff like that. God bless him. And he'd always come in and tell me a joke, and sometimes the same one, you know, a couple times a week, and I have to laugh at him.
Yeah.
But you know, I like good, clean jokes. You know, I ask if somebody starts telling me a joke, I'll say, wait a minute, can I go home and tell my wife this? And they go, well, I'm like, I don't want to hear it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but
well,
I guess it's politically incorrect to tell blonde jokes anymore, isn't it? Kind of.
No, you can't do that anymore.
Okay.
You really can't tell a joke on the radio, can you, Bob? Really? I mean, if I got Randy Vetter in here, do you think it'd be bleep, 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 bleep?
Yeah, that's what I got the button for.
Yeah. Well, no, let's get back to your profession here. You know, what you've done your whole life. So now you have the VR Fitness over there. I know I talked to a lot of young people that go there, and then they also go to other gyms, too.
Yep.
And that's something. Why is that? What do they have? Do they have something else there that they go after? Or
You know.
they go to both places. I mean, they go to yours and they'll try the new place downtown, or they'll go to JD.
There's always something
JD's
attractive.
probably number 1 right now, aren't they?
Yeah, probably. And then you got Factory Gym, and all there's 4 guys that own Factory Gym, and I'll throw a peat out to Palmer there. Jake Palmer is the principal owner there, and those guys all trained at PT Plus.
Okay.
You know, and I've tried to live. Somebody told me years ago to live with open hands. You know, they came and they went, and if I could help them out in their past. When JD came, he was a trainer for me, and he said, "Look, and I want you to know, my goal is to have my own gym, but I have a different idea and a different approach to have more of a personal fitness kind of a gym." And I said, "JD, that's fine." I said, "Come and train here and get experience." And you know, and when it was time to leave, you know, I mean, he invited me to I went to his wedding. You know, he's a good guy. And so there's just different, I don't know, atmospheres or different approaches that people.
Why should people work out, Jeff? What's that all about?
Well, it's a good thing you bring that. We're in January, and this is the ultimate, New Year's resolution time where people take a time to pause, to look back and say, all right, what did I like or not like about the last year, and what do I want to do different? And one of the top things on the list is to stay physically fit. I don't use the word. I had a trainer, Casey Fisk, years ago. People, he'd come in and they say, hey, I want to get in shape. And Casey would say, oh, really? What kind of shape do you want? And then, well, I need to get in shape. And he'd say, well, square is the shape, pear is the shape.
Six pack.
And he would make them come to a point and say, I want you to help me get physically fit. Okay, there's a difference in getting physically fit and then just get in shape. What does that mean? And so exercise and fitness is one of the top things. And then eating different or eating properly. Unfortunately, statistically, that lasts about 6 weeks in this country where, and I'll put in a plug for BR Fitness right now. We've learned that. So in January right now, we have a New Year's resolution special, January special. You come in and buy 2 months and you get the third month free. So our price is $30 a month. I think we're the bottom basement, in terms of private gyms in town. And so
Do you have a yearly rate?
For $60, we don't. We just go month to month.
Month to month.
There's no initiation fee. There's no nothing. Somebody's like, well, if I want 2 months, how much is it? I'm like, that's 30 plus 30 is 60. Well, if my wife comes and joins, is there a rate? And said that would be another 30.
My big resolution is I want to lose weight. At 88 years old, I want to get a six-pack. I want to be good-looking. I want to be nice. It never happens.
No.
I've gone from 5'10" down to 5'6", no six-pack, and I keep gaining weight every year.
Well, I think everybody wants to look good. Isn't that funny? Why is that, you think?
Well, where do you start with that? I mean, we're in a culture, United States Western culture, that puts much emphasis on the looks, right? Yeah. Look at the commercials that we have. I watch commercials sometimes, and it's halfway through it, and I'm still going, I don't know what the product is. I see the fluff and the beauty and the sex that they're trying to sell me, but I'm going, what is the product here that you're actually promoting? And there's so much emphasis on the personal looks and the beauty. And when you come to BR Fitness, we talk about people getting physically fit, stretching, getting some cardiovascular, being able to do yard work without being exhausted, strengthening up their body at a level that they're able to at their age, that's helpful to correlate with my physical therapy background into daily activities. I'm into functional training. This has to equate to how is this going to help you function. And we interview them when they come in, and I ask them, what are your hobbies? What do you do? Oh, yeah, I got a snowmobile, or I'm a quad, or I go out ice fishing, Well, you got to pull that sled out there onto the ice and set up your shanty or whatever. Okay, then you need these muscle groups, and you don't get that at big box stores,
What would it be the age that a parent should look at his kid and say, okay, you should start working out? I know a lot of kids play sports. Probably 80% of the kids play sports, and Big Rapids is a little high, I know. But anyway, what would you say as far as lifting weights too? These kids today are stronger than we ever were.
Right.
They're just the muscle mass is incredible, and I know there's pills you can take to help that, steroids and what have you, and they do that. I don't know if that's good or not, but let's talk about that a little bit. The performance.
The biggest thing we get asked a lot, and there's plenty of studies out there in what's called pre-pubis, before puberty hits. What's an appropriate age to actually start weight training or resisted training? A lot of studies are saying that it's perfectly all right to do weight training, strength training with an appropriate amount of weight, in pre-pubis youth. There's growth plates to consider and growth, things like that. But you've never seen a 5th or 6th grade recess, kids hit the door, they bust out, and they go, wait a minute, whoa. We need to stretch first before we go hit the jungle gym. No, they don't. They bust out of that door, and they are using their body. They're doing body weight activated, exercise. When they're in, little league sports and stuff, like they're pushing and pulling and running and stuff. And so it's actually all right as long as you're not emphasizing maximal lifts.
How old?
Age is kind of irrelevant. It's really the physical development, and it's You know, we've had people, the kids that are coming are 10, 11 years old. They want to do some, but we direct them into a kind of a workout that's appropriate at that age. How much a kid can deadlift, bench press, squat, 1 rep max is immaterial. And you don't need to know that. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Nobody should, but they do. And then these young people are showing up in their 50s now that are hurting real bad. You see suicide because of what they put their bodies through, you know, and the pain and neck surgery on football players, you know, shoulder surgeries.
Right.
You know, they hit each other so hard. I mean, God didn't plan on all this for us. We invented football. We invented these, sports.
Sure.
But at a young age, these kids playing football, what's your take on that?
Well, let me give a shout out to Tyler Schuberg. Tyler and I had a great talk a few years ago because there's this basketball program called Upwards. Okay, and Upwards is a faith-based basketball program, and they only practice once or twice a week, and they play on Saturdays. And the emphasis is on fundamental development. They develop the fundamentals of sports, and they teach sportsmanship. And there's a group in Big Rapids or one in Reed City, down in Morley Stanwood. It's called Upwards. Well, Upwards has a flag football program. And Tyler and I had a great talk about when is a good age to actually help these kids start having full contact with football. And I'd like to see them, play flag football and learn the fundamentals of the game and what it means to be a first down and what's a reverse and what's a 4-3 defense and all this kind of stuff until they get into the age of probably junior high, up into 7th and 8th grade, into the 14th, 15th, where they have more physical development, more strength to protect their joints and stuff. And that's something that I need to follow up with him on and look at pursuing, is getting these kids involved in the sport, but not necessarily having to have that, that contact. Even in soccer, football gets a bad rap. Okay, let me just tell you, football. I'm a football guy. I started playing when I was 9 years old. Okay, played it for 14 years, and being a physical therapy and athletic trainer and sports medicine, I have seen injuries in all aspects of sports. Okay, and they say, I don't want my kid to get hurt. I'm going to play soccer. Well, I'm not against soccer, but I've seen plenty of ACL tears and concussions in soccer. Yeah. It's the misconception that football is numbers-wise, the number of kids nationwide that play the sport is pretty comparable to the amount of injuries based on participation in other sports. So anyway, where was I going with that, Pat?
Well, I was just talking about injuries.
Yeah.
How old kids should be playing with like tackle football. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? And the final results is, I mean, now it's kind of coming up to that age where these guys that played tough football when they're little are hurting time they're in high school. I mean, their injuries are, life-threatening sometimes.
Right.
And people do die every day on a bicycle, too. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I know.
But I was just asking you what you thought of that.
Yeah, I think if we could, again, particularly with contact sport, whether it's football or rugby or whatever. By the way, let me make a point of this. Did you know soccer is a contact sport?
Yeah.
Basketball is a contact sport. People go, come on, ref, it's not a contact. I'm like, no, because they're ignorant. They don't understand that football, rugby are a collision sport. There's a definite definition. You intentionally collide with the other opponent, okay? It's perfectly okay to make contact in basketball and soccer in the appropriate way, to shield people out, to set picks and that kind of stuff. And so, anyway, that's a side
Well, the
issue.
difference, I think, and I'm not trying to slam football.
No, I know you're not.
But the contact with football is head-to-head, shoulder to shoulder, where soccer, you can
and
get
that's
hurt in
changing.
soccer, too.
That's changing. Coaches are having to go to clinics. I mean, I was raised, you take that face mask, boy, and you put it right on the football and you hit that, And that is changing. The techniques, the coaches' techniques of leading, sliding the head across, leading with your shoulder. But if we can get them involved in learning the fundamentals of the sport, okay, and then particularly with football, I think I would like to see an emergence of more flag, football participation. I have grandsons now that have, been involved with that until they get, to an age. But also, you got to understand, it's also it's comparable pound for pound. So you have a 60-pound, 70-pound-year-old rocket football. He's hitting another 60 or 70-pound kid. He's not going against 150-pound.
No, yes, they do.
You know.
I've seen my grandkids go up against Tri-County, and I'll tell you what, those guys doubled the weight of old Jackie there.
Yeah.
Then you got the Routley boy in Big Rapids. He's a big boy. He plowed over some people. So, yeah.
Well, they also have set up rules where if you're at a certain weight, you cannot be a running back.
Yeah.
You have to play, on the line of scrimmage, until they get up there to an age where there's always late bloomers, the early bloomers.
I just wondered what you thought of that. Yeah.
No,
How about your silver? Well, we should take a break, Bob, and I just want to thank Pennzoil down here to Zach, him and his new baby there. Great producer of one so far. Hopefully he'll have more. I know Kim just loves his grandkids from Pennzoil Auto Repair, and they do tires too and all that. And Winger Insurance, Seth Winger was in yesterday. He's looking pretty good. Wife's happy, he said, and the kids are doing real well. So you're supporting a local guy, puts money back in the community. He's got an office in Baldwin in Big Rapids right on Perry Street. Mm-hmm. Then you got Barrington Firearms Training, Cal and
Casey,
doing a great job over there teaching people to respect guns. And if you want to learn anything about guns,
I took my CPL class with them.
DW2 Drywall, great guy. Dale is a cancer survivor, great human being. Pierce Auto, what are you going to say? They got 2 locations here in Big Rapids, one at Maple and State, and then one Northland Drive there just across the street from the old drive-in theater for your old timers. Remember them, Pete, the drive-in theater?
Absolutely.
What they used to call that? Can't say it on the radio. But anyway, Paris Auto Sales guys do a great job up there. Monk Janowitz Funeral Home, they are very professional. My cousin Mike just passed here recently, and they just comforted the family really well and just very professional. And, good people. So we want to thank Janowitz. And then you got Big Rapids Realty Sue Bean. Can't beat her. She's very much involved with the community when it comes to donating to worthy causes. I know she was on the board. I don't know if she is anymore. On Man a Pantry there on State Street, helping people out. She's very, very dedicated person to Big Rapids. And Hooked at Curries, great place to have a sandwich. Pete likes their hamburgers, and breakfasts are over there. Yeah,
Caramelized onion.
That's it. So we'll take a break here. We'll take a break.
Hey, well, wait a minute. I just want to say, how many of us ever lifted the trunk of our car and piled in the trunk or in the back seat and hidden to go on the drive-in movie? How many people you got? I got just one, but 7 people are in the car.
Right.
All right, we'll be right back.
Did your car break down right before the winter?
I don't think you can park there.
I know I can't park there.
At Paris Auto Sales, you can get approved with as little as $500 down, and they'll even take your broken down car as a trade. So when the wind starts howling and the snow starts flying, you'll be glad you upgraded to a dependable car, truck, or SUV from Paris Auto Sales. Don't let the winter leave you stranded. Get ahead of the cold with unbeatable deals at Paris Auto Sales, North and South locations. Interest rates are as low as they've been in 5 years, and they're perfect for all credit types, even if your credit isn't perfect. Drive happy, drive prepared. Paris Auto Sales, your trusted used car center of Big Rapids.
I'm Seth Wenger from Wenger Insurance. For more than 100 years, we've been providing professional service and competitive insurance to West Michigan. Come visit us on Perry Street in Big Rapids or give us a call at 796-0778. We're here for you now, and we'll be here when you need us most. 796-0778.
Dale I've known for many, many years, and I tell you what, when somebody needs some help, he's there. Just like your typical Mecosta County resident, Dale Whaley is a good American. So if you're ever looking for a drywaller for free estimate, call Dale. I'm telling you, you're going to be happy with his work. I have recommended Dale to a lot of people, and you know what the greatest compliment I've ever gotten is thanks for sending Dale. He did a great job for me. Guy's just fantastic. Just not only is a drywaller, but DW2 drywalling, but just a great person. It doesn't hurt to have him come into Curries either. There's just so many good things about Dale. He's just a great American, and give him a call, DW2 Drywall at 231-679-0475. That's right, 231-679-0475. Dale Whaley is DW2 Drywall. Greatest guy on drywalling end of it.
Where do you go for Michigan's #1 concealed pistol license course? the same place thousands of Michigan residents have over the past 15 years, the Barrington Firearms Training Center. The BFTC conducts state-certified CPL courses right here locally inside the Barrington Conservation Club at 3444 18 Mile Road in Barrington. For just $99, all you need to bring us is your Michigan ID to these all-inclusive one-day CPL courses, which include the use of firearms, ammo, eye and ear protection, coffee and donuts in the morning, and lunch at noon. That's right, just $99 gets you everything needed to take the police department instructed course that includes the training necessary to safely load, unload, handle, and store your firearm. Students will also be trained on when it is legal to defend themselves with a firearm under Michigan's Stand Your Ground law and Castle Doctrine. Call 231-250-7257 or go online at michigancpltraining.com to register for one of their upcoming $99 all-inclusive CPL courses. Get armed, get trained at the Barrington Firearms Training Center.
When the time comes to say goodbye, you need a funeral home that understands your family's needs. The Monk Janowitz Funeral Home in Big Rapids and the Janowitz Family Funeral Home in Remus have been a trusted part of this community for generations. They do take care of every family like their own, and they hear it time and time again.
My name is Christina Beers. I would say there's lots of funeral homes in the area, but there's only a small few that can do it with class and with quality and with that personal touch and care. And I would put Janowitz Family Funeral Home at the very top of that list.
Let them help guide you through a challenging time with care, respect, and compassion. The Monk Janowitz Funeral Home in Big Rapids and the Janowitz Family Funeral Home in Remus. Local, professional, and here for you when it matters most.
Hooked at Curries.
Pete, why do you come to Curries?
I go in there for breakfast every single morning, Pack, except the week. Well, on Sunday. I usually go to church. But I love the scrambled eggs and bacon and toast. Homemade.
My name is Drew, and I'm 6 years old, and Sue Bean is my Giga.
Giga has worked with all kinds of people, helping them find the home of their dreams.
Giga is also my grandmother. She loves working with adults who are serious about finding a piece of property that suits their needs.
Giga drives us everywhere. She's pretty sweet, but the best path she drives is getting you to the closing table.
Sue Bean, Big Rapids Realty, 231-580-9546.
That's 231-580-9546. Or email her at sbean@bigrapidsrealty.com.
All right, we're back now here live on B1039. I was just telling Bob on taking a break here that I don't listen to the radios at night, and recently I have been. One reason is because Jen gave me a radio here about a year ago.
You didn't have
the
a
only way you
radio.
can get listeners. You give them a radio.
Well, I know, but how many people have radios? They have your phones now, right?
Right. Right.
So anyway, over the break there, Christmas break, the radio, Penny has it in her office. We brought it out in the kitchen. We play a lot of cards at night, and we turn it to 1039, obviously. Obvious that we want to listen to that station. And folks, for you just listen during the day, I was pretty impressed with the music selection. If you like the 80s, 70s, 80s, and some 90s, it was very good music, man. It took you back in time. And she had her cousin up from Indiana here, and she really enjoyed the music. She said, wow, this selection is very good. And you didn't have a lot of breaks. You didn't do a lot of ads. I just thought I would add this to you to help you out. Instead of having long commercials during the day that Pat Curry talks too long on a commercial, like a couple of them there, I think I should shorten up for you. But at night, instead of taking a break, maybe in between those fabulous selections that Dom does for us here in the area, put in there like in between a song, Gilbert Carpet. Boom, that's it. You know, just...
Yeah, those are called blips.
Yeah. Oh, they do that?
Oh, they do that, yeah.
I think that's enough. You don't have to tell what Gilbert's Carpet does because everybody already knows that, but just put that name out there like Curries, boom, Curries, that's it. In between.
Well, yours are short. Yours are 10 seconds. You know?
Popcorn.
Yeah, I know. You know, and I like that. I think that's one of the best commercials you have out here.
Those get annoying after a while, just so
Do
you
they,
know.
the small
yeah.
ones?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you run them a lot. It's just like...
Oh, you don't have to run them a lot.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
saying.
You remember at the
I'm just saying,
movies?
only trying to make a
When they would
living.
just throw popcorn.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Coca-Cola
it's annoying
subliminal
after a while.
messages, and they finally had to outlaw them because they realized that.
Well, if I was you,
I appreciate the advice. Thank
well,
you,
thank
Pat.
you. That was very
Yes.
kind of you. Because my words to me would be, "Hey, if you want that, you buy the radio station. You can do what you want to it." That was very
That's
kind.
the mantra.
But you didn't say that. No,
$3 million,
I'm not gonna tell you how to
Pat.
run
$3
your
million.
business. You guys are doing a great job, and I really appreciate this. But anyway, we got Jeff Thorne in the studio. Now we have Jen Theodore, the co-owner of 1039, here with me. Pete just left. He said, "I'm getting old. I got to go." God bless him, 88 years old. You know, we should be so lucky to see that age. But anyway, he's done it with determination. He's a very determined man to live. He wants to be the oldest man on earth, and I told him Moses lived to be 180. So I don't think
Moses
he's going to
a
get
lot older than that.
300.
Moses was, yeah. Well, Methuselah was 997.
You really believe that?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's in the good book. I'm not going to. I'm not going to refute.
It's not one of those fake news things, is
No.
it? I mean,
Is
you
it
know,
AI,
we won't-
Jeff?
We won't get too political here, but you know what's funnier than heck? What Trump does, and then the fake news turns it into something else, right? Or fake news will tell these people this about Trump, and they believe it. But when it's fake news about what they have, they oh, that's fake news. That's fake news. That's, oh, wow. Okay, so it's only one side that the fake news is. I get a kick out of that, but we won't go there. I would like to know your perception on the way we're going in the United States today, if you think that we're in the right direction, and what you think of New York, because I know you're a Christian man. You know, the thing that I'm puzzled by is we have a constitution that we have to abide by, and for that man to put his hand on the, what was it, what's their book?
Quran.
Quran, yeah.
Did that offend you?
Yeah, it does me, because, I mean, it would offend anybody that's an American, I would think, anyway. It's not.
I think it's more offensive to the Constitution.
Yeah, but how do you get away with it?
Because he can.
No, I don't. I just, well, anyway. We won't go there. Silver sneakers, what's that all about?
Well,
Jeff?
let me.
Now, we're going back to
Yeah.
VR
No,
fitness.
that's
Switch gears.
Politics, yeah.
Follow along.
not a problem. I didn't know if you were going to segue up to Green Charter Township or not, so we won't go there.
Oh, we could go there, too.
No, we could go there. We don't have enough time. So silver sneakers. So people that reach the age of Medicare, 65 and older, or if they have a disability plan, if they get on that earlier, they also have an option, and people that have been there, to maybe add a supplement plan. Okay, and let me just make a statement. People think Medicare is an insurance company. Medicare is a big pot of money controlled by the federal government. The federal government doles out contracts to Blue Cross and Humana and Priority Health and all these different companies to manage that money for claims. So your straight Medicare is Part A, Part B, and then you can get a supplemental or a Advantage plan. I personally have a Priority Health Advantage plan. In the Advantage plan comes options, dental, optical, all that kind of stuff that you can get. And part of that, it was changed years ago, was adding fitness center coverage. They finally realized that if we put some money to preventative method, thank you, Jesus, if we spend some of that money on helping people stay active, and so they're going to spend less time in ER, less time in the urgent care, and stay active. And so people that have silver sneakers, which is through the Blue Cross, or One Pass it's called, through Priority Health, pays for their membership. Now here's the way it works. I'm glad you asked. They don't pay me a set amount, like a monthly fee. Like I mentioned earlier, our fee is $30 a month, okay? Every time the person comes in, it logs their visit. At the end of the month, we tabulate how many times they came in, okay? We send an invoice off to Silver Sneakers, and this is all handled electronically. That's one good thing about technology. And they pay me a small fee. It's about $3 or $3.50 per visit. So if you come in 10 times, I'm going to get $35 if you have one pass. Okay, if you only come in twice, I'm only going to get $6 for your membership for that month. And so it's a win-win-win, and that the people have it in their plan, so there's no additional costs out of pocket. It's a win for me because I get one payment, direct deposit from those organizations every month. And it's a win for the insurance company because they're not paying out money and people aren't using it. They're only paying if you use it. Okay, so it really is, and I go through this every week, almost every day, explaining, especially this time of year where people are coming in, they've made changes in their plans or whatever. I've had 3 so far this year that says, hey, I have silver sneakers, and I check, and I'm like, no, you don't. You have 1 pass. You change your plan, but it's the same thing. It's a third-party intermediary that handles that claim. Okay.
How would I know?
So,
I'm 72.
look at your plan, call your 800 number, and look at what your plan said. You know what you have as far as you have glasses on, you know, your auditory, your dental, your optical.
I don't
Okay. You know, you would just look and see what you might have, and then contact them and see.
Would most people have it?
That's a good question. Do most people? I'd say a lot of people do if they choose to have.
How would you know to even have it?
Well, you have to choose to go beyond.
Like Bill Warden goes out to your place.
Yeah, you mentioned 88 years old. Bill Warden's 88 years old. And Bill Warden is there. Hello, Bill, if you're out there. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m. We open at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Bill is there.
Yeah.
Actually, Bill is there at 5:45.
Yeah.
Okay, I should give him a key to the building because...
Does he beat
he's
you
a
there,
farmer.
Jeff?
He's a farmer, man.
He
He's
is
worked his
there
whole life. And
very much. And you know who also comes? And hello, Jennifer Page, which is Tom Freiberg. God bless him. He passed away 1 year ago on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
It's been 1 year that Tommy passed
He was
away.
one of my favorites.
And and Jennifer, his daughter, Jennifer Page, and her husband Jim, she comes in now, sort of in his place, and she works out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 in the morning before she goes to work, and works out there. So, but yeah, the way it works is if you choose to have a supplemental, a 2-year Medicare or a Advantage plan, that's an additional that you choose to take. So when you get Medicare, you get Part A, Part B. It takes care of hospitalizations and doctor visits, and that's kind of about it. Okay, but prescriptions, dental, all that stuff. So that's part of those plans. So you just have to, really it's best to get a hold of an agent that handles.
Well, most people have an agent. I have one.
Yep.
But I've never been told that.
Oh.
No, and I just wondered.
Get a new agent.
Right, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, I understand. No, but how the hell would you know? You're not that age yet, Jen, but I've never really looked at what I am capable of receiving as far as something like that.
And that's the part of, because Debbie and I being physical therapists, I've been in the healthcare profession. I'm a healthcare professional for 40-some years, and so we've dealt with insurance companies of every walk of life through rehabilitation,
so
auto accidents and work comp and all that kind of stuff, and those plans. So we're well aware of, and I am the Silver Sneakers provider for this area.
That's
so
what
you
I
have
was
to
gonna
sign
ask
up with them. You have to be registered
really,
with them.
Folks out there, if you're listening, if you're on Medicare, right?
Right.
So at 62 years old, is that when that kicks in? 65? If you're 65 or older, make sure you ask. And if you don't have it, does everybody have supplemental?
No.
No.
There's an Advantage plan or supplemental. There's two different options that you can add to your Medicare that covers the fitness center part of it.
Well, that's pretty good. If I was you, I'd be promoting that, because that would make that makes
Jeff,
sense.
maybe you should advertise that.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here on the
All the
Curries
time.
Corner telling everybody in January.
But I would think that you would talk to Jen and maybe do something like that just to see if
There
it
you
works.
go.
Because I tell you what, you'd be surprised if how many people out there my age do not go to a gym because of the cost factor. You know, I mean, I don't like that one commercial. I won't say whose it is, but prices are high, food prices are high, gas prices are high. Blah blah high. Oh, depress me. Come on now. We're not depressing here. But anyway, that's something that would be worth advertising. Saying,
well, there's also the old adage is,
and then there's no added cost to them. No. Bill Warden goes there and his insurance covers that. That's cool. I think Pete Peterson does it too, doesn't he? From Peterson's Beef.
When I can drag Pete off the farm, Corey is. We're glad to get him off the farm and come in.
Right. Yeah. Boy, I tell you what. Have you been out to Grant Center lately and seen his silo? I think I started something. Several people have done the flag now. I put mine up first there on the building, and Pete and Brenda thought that was pretty cool, and Steve Larry does it. And now they did a silo out there. That's pretty cool, and they have it lit up at night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool for Grant Center.
Yeah,
in Mecosta County.
Yeah.
I got to have a cigarette. Bob, you got one on you? Remember
Not
that
anymore.
No.
Have for about 30 years.
I've gotten Pete in there. I've gotten Pete in there a number of times, but people say to me too. The other thing is, well, why should I come to the gym? Why couldn't I just do this? You know how many ellipticals and treadmills and exercise equipment throughout this country are sitting in a basement, sitting in a storeroom, under a bed, collecting dust. The people have good intentions. They watch these infomercials.
Well, it's a big business.
With these guys and gals that are all slicked down with oil and look all wonderful and say, hey, for only $14.99 a month, come on, you can get this. And when you leave the house, and that is your domicile, that is your castle, that's your home, with your family, there are very few people that do well with a home gym. Okay, I know a few of them that really are committed and do that, and I won't name names, but there are some out there. But when you leave that, you come to an area where other people are exercising, and you have that camaraderie, and then you share what you're doing. Oh, what is that you're doing? And you learn different things, about fitness and health and how to exercise, and it's focusing on that. You're not watching the TV. Hopefully you're not on the phone. It's pretty hard to do nowadays.
A lot of people sweat up when they exercise, eh? Do you have accommodations there, showers and have you, or no?
I have changing rooms and bathrooms. I do not have an actual shower, which I've yet to have a person say, well, that's a problem.
I'm just asking.
No, it's good.
People
it's
like Randy Vetter, he would use that.
It's a good question, yeah. Well, we have, we have man wipes. We'll give them.
There you go. Yeah. No, I just wondered. But you got everything there. Everything
I had at PT Plus is there. Well, all the cardio, all the free weights, I have 21 pieces of Cybex strength training equipment. I have rowing machines. I have ellipticals and bikes.
Now, do you have TVs in there?
Yep.
Also, do they fight over who's watching what?
No.
Like Wells Fargo, do you have that on there?
Nope, they have to go through me to get the remote.
Oh, they do? Yeah. So what do you have, Fox News on there?
We have a variety of stuff, yeah.
What
one thing you cannot put on is
CNN?
Is soap operas. If you put a soap opera in, I'll throw you out the front door.
Right. Wow. All right, but you said you had
not
the
into
remote.
the bold and the beautiful, Jeff.
So
Days of our lives.
And the View. The View's not allowed either.
Well, do you have music going?
Oh, yeah. You know what's interesting is almost, I'd say 95% of the people that come in there have earbuds now, headphones, or you can't even tell. Sure. So I'll walk up by, another one is Peter Geib. You know Pete, he runs the golf course at Catke. Pete's
that's Tony guy.
Tony. Well, Pete's his son. Pete comes in there.
He's a high school student.
Oh, yeah. He's a beast. Have you seen him lately?
Well, I've seen his dad. He pretty much represents
Pete
the Geib family.
Pete is rock solid. So anyway, Tony will be in there, and I could walk up right behind him and say, scream at him, Tony, you're ugly. You're not, Tony. And he'd be like oblivious because they're in their own world.
Pete now?
We're talking about Tony.
Tony works out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's strong.
I didn't say he wasn't strong.
But, back in the day, we had boom boxes, and we had people asking about, we got this music, or we got rap, we want country, we want contemporary Christian music.
Right.
Nowadays, I don't have to worry about none of that, because everybody's in their own zone, they're doing their thing, and so, I put YouTube music on a lot of times. We just came through Christmas, and we've been playing a lot of Christmas songs.
Oh, you got to play 103.9. Well, they had Christmas music going right up through Christmas.
That's the plan.
Yeah, that was cool.
But no, thanks, because that's a good. I wanted to come on and clarify the whole silver sneakers kind of concept.
Yeah, that's good. People
and how
it
works. And but the hardest part the hardest thing about getting going is walking through the front door. It's walking through the front door.
Kind of like church.
Kind of like church. I'm glad you said yes.
Get them through there.
Is just say, I really, And once they get in there, they're like, oh, okay, I can do this.
Yeah. What's the hours?
Well, from 6 in the morning till 7 at night through the week, and 7 to noon on Saturday, and we are closed on the Lord's Day.
So
Charlie Kirk's new book is coming out, and I forget the title of it, but is it something God?
Stop in the name of God.
Stop in the name of God, and it was all about restoring the Sabbath and the Sabbath rest.
Yeah.
God made the Sabbath, for us to have a time of rest. And it said that in 6 days he created, the 7th day he rested. Was God tired No, he wasn't tired. He set an example that we should take a day of rest, and so we close on Sunday. And, I tell people that too. I said, we're closed on the Lord's Day.
Care,
you ought to be in church.
They don't care. People
still
don't
tell
care. They
them.
don't have to be open Sunday.
Wrap it up.
How about, want to do that again, Len? You put that on your Facebook there. But anyway, how about, so to sign up, all you have to do is walk in, or you have somebody there?
Yep.
There's somebody there all the time. You're open?
Yep.
Wow.
We have one sheet. It's a simple sign-up sheet. It's just demographics and a statement of liability that they're there of their own free will. I didn't drag them in there and make them do it.
Right.
Kind of a deal.
Well, good.
Yeah,
It's
real
been
easy.
fun today. Got a lot of information out there about
I appreciate
healthcare
it.
and stuff.
Thanks, Jennifer.
I think the silver sneakers thing
Bob?
is the most intriguing thing, yeah. So the old folks can really benefit there. And you're the only one in the area that does that.
I'll be honest, Becky Lentz, who I work for out in Canadian Lakes, is also a Silver Sneakers facility, and she's got the same business model, like I said, we had, physical therapy and fitness center. So people on the east side of the county will stop in there. But yeah, we're pretty much it for the immediate Big Rapids area.
What's the youngest one you have coming in there? And again, I kind of want to touch on that because a lot of people are putting their kids into sports, which is great.
Sure.
I think it's very, very good. Never seen
Well, I haven't seen him in a while, but I coached him in Rocket football. He's my oldest son's age. Bobby Gilbert started bringing his son in there. I think he was 10 or 12 years old. But in that age, they say, well, you have to come in with him. You don't drop him off. I'm not a babysitter. But Bobby was bringing in and teaching, and I love that. See, especially father-son relationship of coming to the gym together and, working out. So
do you work out personally?
Yep.
Every day?
Couple days a week. I do strength training. I target certain muscle groups, and I still play softball with two of my sons. They're in the summertime Monday night league, the old man league on Monday night
Pretty
softball.
good, yeah. How about food real quick? Let's just touch on that, a diet for a human being at the age you're at. What do you eat?
You know what the root word of diet is? Die.
Oh, yeah.
And so people, diets have come and gone. I'm not a big fan of fad diets and all these, things. It's just like running a steam, engine or whatever. You got to chuck the coal in there and keep it going. And when you're working out, you're burning fuel, and you got to feed the engine. And so people need to eat properly. When I say properly,
Well, what's proper foods? Tell us proper foods. We got a couple more minutes. I just want to ask you.
No, real quick, yeah.
If somebody asked you, what should I be eating every day?
Well, it's been around forever. You got your basic food groups, okay, and
eggs. Eggs good for you?
2 years ago they weren't, but now there is a back end. And then coffee wasn't. Now it's back end. It's good for you as long as you don't, load it up with cream and sugar too much. I mean, it comes and goes. It's amazing. But if you have to pause, and this one of my trainers taught me this years ago, if you look at something and you have to sit in there and wonder if is that junk food or not. If you have to think about it for more than 2 seconds, it's junk food. Okay, when you pick up a broccoli or something like that, or you're eating, there's no hesitation to know that that's, good for you.
So broccoli's good. Eggs?
Yeah, sure.
Meat?
Sure.
Taters? Rice?
Absolutely. I'm a very light eater myself, so because when it gets light out, I start eating.
How about protein drinks?
Sure.
Protein drinks are good for you?
We live in a culture, and I've said this for years, that it does things to excess. We are known for excess. We have extreme sports. We don't just run a marathon now. Now we run ultra marathons, okay? We need to get back and need to do moderation, okay? How many cultures have buffets, all you can eat, right? Pay this amount, and I'm stuffed, but I paid, $16.95, and I'm going to go back and get 2 more plates because I paid for that, and you stuff yourself. So
what's energy drinks doing to us?
Well, energy drinks have different ones have come and go.
There's tons of them out there.
Yeah.
What is that doing to America?
Well, as long as it's not loaded up with caffeine too much,
they
if
are.
it has, yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
It's
a big industry. It's a big industry.
I know it is. Is it good for you?
Some of it is.
Is
You really have to be pick and
you have
choose.
a specific one that you would say that's not harmful?
That's not harmful.
Yeah.
I'm not endorsing this. I don't get a thing, but muscle milk is is a good product.
But you have your Red Bulls, you have your Monsters, you have your Rockstar, all those drinks. What do you think?
Well, there's good old H2O is good, and Gatorade has been around forever. This has electrolytes.
And they changed that formula though.
They've changed it and added it. Now they have pre-workout, mid-workout, post-workout, and get up. But the original Gatorade.
Original, if they still make it.
Yeah. You know how that was started, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
The University of Florida.
Florida Gators.
Yeah.
And because people weren't drinking enough water, so we need to add some flavor to get these guys to, and gals to drink more.
How much water should a person drink a day?
8 cups.
Pardon?
8 cups.
8 cups?
Yeah.
Well, my cup's 2 ounces. That's 16 ounces. How much? A gallon?
I don't think so. I think you can take it to excess. When we had PT Plus, we had a drinking fountain, and somebody challenged me every time you walk back and forth across that stop and take a sip of a few sips of water or something like that. So I think having the water bottles now is great. You have one in front of you. People have personalized ones. You fill that up 4 times a day or so, and hopefully.
Can you drink too much water?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's a medical condition. I forget it. It's called hydro.
Yeah, there was a radio station that got in trouble for doing how much can you drink? Somebody died from it out
drank
west.
Too much.
Yeah, you can drink too much in a day.
Right.
Though.
Now, how much is too much?
I'm not a doctor.
Well, I know, but Jeff, what do you think's too much?
Again, that's not my area of expertise, but it depends on
your. You are your health.
Well, it depends on your height and weight and your body weight, and your percent body fat.
Okay. But a guy should drink maybe half gallon a day.
Yeah.
That would be safe.
Yep.
Yeah.
General studies say that on average, probably 75% of Americans are walking around dehydrated.
How often should a person exercise? How many times a week?
Depends on what your goals are. It really does.
Well, health.
I tell people you can exercise every day. Okay, as long as you're not doing the same thing over and over and over. And I've had people that say, "Hey, I'm going to get in here every day," and I'll say, "Wait a minute, you're probably not. So don't say that."
All right.
So commit to 2 or 3 times a week. Get started. Get a routine going. Some days you might be emphasis on, say, upper body and your and your back and abs. And another day you're going to do a lot of cardio and maybe lower body strengthening. As long as you mix up, and that's the thing that that we try to help people with, is set up a routine. We do a fitness setup program that we offer that people will help them get going with that. So
what's more important, going on a treadmill at 4 degrees, 4 miles an hour, or going on a flat surface? Let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
4 miles an hour, 4 degrees, for 1 mile. Pretty good pace. Or just flatten out, treadmill flat, 0 degrees, going 2 miles an hour for 5 miles. What's better?
I'll answer that by saying I'm a big fan of what's called HIIT training, HIIT, high intensity interval training. So I would say you start off on your treadmill at, when you hit about 3.5 miles an hour is when you have to break into a slight jog, okay, for most people. So I'd say get a warm-up going for a couple of minutes and then ramp that up to, 4.5 miles an hour at 4 degrees for 30 seconds, okay? And hit it hard and then bring it back down. So you're going to do a high intensity for a short amount of time. And there's studies after studies showing high intensity interval training will build strength and your stamina, your cardio, better than just, walking at 2 miles an hour for 30 minutes. You got to get your heart rate up. So your heart is a muscle, right? But it's different than striated muscles. It's different than your, when you lift weights, it's this myocardium. And so how do you strengthen? I can't wrap a weight around my heart. Okay, so you increase your heart rate. You make it be harder and stronger, but you have to sustain it for at least a minimum of 20 minutes to have a training effect or a cardiovascular effect on your heart. Okay, so it's training your heart and your lungs to go and get blood oxygen exchange to your lungs, back to your heart, and to your body. And so studies have shown that the interval training does better for training that heart,
Really? It's better than staying at 4 and 4 for 15 minutes.
Right.
It's not good for you then.
Right. Oh, it's good for you. Yeah, it's good for you, but you're going to plateau on that, and you're not going to see much gains after a while. You're going to really just, That's why we encourage people. We have a workout sheet. We encourage people to log their workouts, and they'll bring it to me every now and then and say, "Hey, can you take a look at this? I don't feel I'm." And I'll look and I'll see the same thing they've been doing for 3-4 weeks, and I'm like, "Well, back here you should have changed up. You should have changed this or changed that." And again, that comes back just to the personal training service that we try to provide instead of just saying, "There's the gym, go for it."
Right. Yeah. So one more time. So it's better to do the interval.
Yeah.
Than to stay right at a fast pace for 10 minutes or whatever.
But then you got to take all things into consideration, Pat. So if somebody has had a knee replacement on their left once and they've had a stent done, a guy just started in, he had a bicuspid valve replacement and 2 bypass done 3 months ago. He's on a basic, level program until he gets, ready to get into it. So you can't just assume it's this. But for general population, healthy people, they need to challenge themselves.
What does lifting weights do for an older person? I know we got to get off the air here. We've been on long enough. But I'm curious, what's more important? And you're going to say, well, both are. But one or the other, would you say a person would be better off, older person, I'm talking my age, on a treadmill or lifting weights?
If I had just those two, I would say lifting light weights, to strengthen muscles to support. So if you have some shocks on your camper or on your car, and after a while they start getting bad and you hit a little bump and it's like, oh, you really feel that. But then you change out your shocks or put heavy-duty shocks on and you roll over that and you feel that. And so our skeletal system is supported by our muscles and tendons. Okay, so keeping those strong supports the joints, in effect, so there's not as much pounding, wear, and tear. What's even more important the older we get is flexibility. It gets overlooked. It's just daily stretching. That's one of the things probably, and I don't have yoga classes, but that's one thing yoga has become popular, is for the stretching and flexibility that people have. So there's flexibility with the stretching program, the cardiovascular, and the strength training.
So you think they're both obviously important.
Yep.
Very important. But the reason I say that is because you see a lot of runners.
Yeah.
And gosh, I don't mean to depress anybody that's a runner, but they end up with bad knees.
Yeah.
And then
bad
some
hips,
of them,
bad low back kind of
some
stuff.
of them die with heart attacks. How does that happen when you're running out there? You're building your heart. You're running 20
There's a
miles
factor
a day,
that
and
we
all
don't
of a
have
sudden
no
the guy
control
dies.
over is genetic. There's a genetic factor that's there no matter what we do. But what's become very popular, and we have 4 of these, is the ellipticals. Ellipticals kind of combine a Stairmaster with a treadmill. So there's very low to minimal impact, but you get the cardiovascular training. Ellipticals will kick your butt.
Yeah. Those
you
ones
don't have
with
that.
you pedal on, and then you have the back and forth. Those are pretty good, eh?
Yep.
And they have different programs on that.
There you go.
But all right, well, it's 10 to 10, Bob. We want to thank our sponsors again: Big Rapids Penn's Oil and Auto Repair, Barrington Firearms Training Center, DW2 Drywall. Can't forget about Paris Auto Sales. If you're in need for a late model car or an old car, Paris Auto Car Sales is the place to go. Wenger Insurance, get insurance from Paris. Buy the car at Paris, get your insurance from Wenger Insurance. And if that don't work out, go see Monk Janowitz Funeral Home for donation for something, whatever. I don't know. How do you support a great place like Janowitz? She's a wonderful lady.
Well, they help with the end-of-life issues that we have to deal with. That's the reality. You started the show. We're talking about the community people we've lost. And there's a process of taking people through that. And I tell you, Mike Monk and company and now the Janowitz people are wonderful in taking people through,
Hey, Jen, come on in here. We want to conclude with the loss of your neighbor. A lot of you folks out there don't realize or didn't realize. I know I talked about her, but Mindy Britton, her maiden name was Sack. I know her brother Tim, him and I graduated in class 72. I think Mindy graduated in 76. A little younger than us, but she's gone to heaven now, and I know she's around the throne today because she did everything right. I mean, she did what God wanted her to do, and but I'll always remember her, not what she said to me, is how she looked at me. She always smiled.
I was just going to say that.
Always happy.
She was actually my neighbor. She lived on the hill, and every time I talked to her, she'd always have that smile. And it is amazing how that just resonated with me. She was always so warm and kind, and how you doing? And just, I really am going to miss her.
Yeah, she worked on the Germ Fest over there, German Fest at St. Peter's. Mark Beal started that years ago, and boy, those were the good old days. And you walked in there, and Zana Heck and her and all of them were all dressed up. Gosh, they did a great job fundraising. She really was a big supporter of St. Mary's School, or St. Peter's School and Church over there. Great Luther and her family are all supportive of that. But she worked at that German Fest, turned on, and God, you know, she could have been a lady with being mean or mad because what was done to her in life.
She had every day was doing something for her husband, her family, something. And she's going to be missed.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, good. We're going to wrap it up and let Jen have her radio station back. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Appreciate you coming.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
I hope
Pat.
it helped a lot of people. I tell you what, working out is good. And Jeff, I know you're just a great person. Thanks a lot. God bless America.
Thanks, guys.
Did your car break down right before the winter?
I don't think you can park there.
I know I can't park there.
At Paris Auto Sales, you can get approved with as little as $500 down, and they'll even take your broken down car as a trade. So when the wind starts howling and the snow starts flying, you'll be glad you upgraded to a dependable car, truck, or SUV from Paris Auto Sales. Don't let the winter leave you stranded. Get ahead of the cold with unbeatable deals at Paris Auto Sales, North and South locations. Interest rates are as low as they've been in 5 years, and they're perfect for all credit types, even if your credit isn't perfect. Drive happy, drive prepared. Paris Auto Sales.